Do you feel even closer to Mal now that you own property together?
Yeah. I had to put together a will. And like I say all the time, I mean, we own this house together, but I say all the time, you know, like we're not married, which is kind of unusual, I guess, to own a house together when you're not married. So we have to figure out the whole like joint bank account sort of situation. Like we wrote down the percentages for who pays for what, but ahead of time, which I got to say is a hot tip. Make sure all of that. Mal is so sweet. Mal is like such a Cancer, like such a little sweetie. They wrote like a contract for us with all the percentages and everything, and then they emailed it to me, and they titled it "Love Contract." And then the contract was just like, Mal and Gabby enter into this contract, and it had all the math and everything, but the beginning was like, Mal and Gabby enter into this contract in loving relationship where they love each other in sound mind or whatever. But like sound mind is normally what's in that kind of contract, but Mal added all this stuff about like at a time in which they love each other very much. It was like a reminder. like, oh yes, we made this contract when we liked each other. Just in the horrible, hopefully never, situation where we're like, I fucking hate you and we're getting divorced.
I think that's so lovely. But my real question is, when can I expect this engagement?
Oh, well, interesting. I have started like, you know, like when I was making my will and stuff to leave things to people or whatever, they were like asking me about it. And I was like, I don't see any rings on. This is so weird how naked my hands are. I don't have any rings on these fingers. So I feel like I can do what I want. Like, obviously I can always do what I want. I don't know, because they said that they want to go with their sisters to like look, I guess, at rings. Yeah, I know, but I have no idea. I don't know. I gave them a ring that fits me from my jewelry box, just like because I was like, I don't know my ring size, but just take this and hold on to it. And that was like months ago.
All right. Do you know what kind of ring you want?
Not a diamond.
But what vibe? Anyway, send me photos.
I have no idea. I think people think of you buying a house together, that's a contract. Like we're, like that's more than if we just like ran off to Vegas and got married. Like that you can just get annulled. This is like a whole thing,
Yeah, marriage means nothing. Mortgages are forever.
I think so, because if we just went to Vegas and got married and then we wanted to get divorced, it's like, okay, great. You don't have anything together. You don't have any children. You don't have any, like who cares? But like when you actually have like things together, it's like, I was thinking about that this morning. We're not breaking up at all, but I was like, wow, if we ever break up, we gotta be serious. we can't break up on it. We gotta mean it if we break up. And I was like, that's crazy.
Wow, this is so thrilling for me the most.
I don't know. Well, because also a lot of stuff's coming up where I'm like, oh, we could have like a small wedding, and then Mal will be like, no. And Mal, like, I think wants like a shindig.
Wow.
I'm not in any sort of rush. I don't have any money. We just bought a house. I don't have any money.
Okay. Let Mal know I'm here. I still have my wedding date available, which is next week. So do you want that?
Oh, if this was a sitcom, that is 100% what would happen. But then whoever you were going to invite, that's who's there. So me and Mal are getting married, but it's the same guest
It's my
list.
family. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, this is Just Between Us, a variety show filled with heartfelt advice,
ridiculous games,
and brutal honesty.
Yeah, that last one got real checked off. I have no idea. It's not happening anytime soon. Nobody get excited.
Okay, I'm just really excited. But okay.
Everyone hold on to your butts.
Wow, I can't wait. Okay, I'm really excited. But if I've learned anything, engagement means nothing.
It means nothing.
I'm just kidding. It means a lot, but also this house means a lot and increases the likelihood that you'll actually get married.
It means nothing. The house is what matters. But then when you have the house, you paying for all this house stuff. I don't know how Mal's going to buy a ring with what money.
I mean, there's a lot of rings that aren't that expensive that are still really beautiful, especially if you're not getting a diamond.
Yeah, I don't want an expensive one. I feel like I would be so nervous walking around with that in my hand, being like, what if it fall off?
Yeah, or what if like your partner abruptly leaves you and then And then you say, you hand the ring back as like a test, and then they immediately take it and pocket it. And then you never see them again.
Okay, now hold on a second. Isn't the etiquette that you keep it?
Oh, yeah.
That's the etiquette, right?
The fact that I like handed it to him mid him unloading this on me randomly, and that he just immediately took it without any hesitation was the moment where I was like, oh, this is for real.
But also that's rude.
I got to keep the elliptical. Everything is fine.
But that's rude. He owes you. You should keep that ring. That's rude.
Also, because I paid for part of that fucking ring.
Allison!
Did I ever tell you this?
No.
Okay, here's the real tea. Here is the tea. So I got this beautiful engagement ring that I loved, but it had a thin band. And, you know, I have my sensory issues and my whatever. And so I wanted to get the band widened because when you get the band widened, it doesn't slide as much on your finger. And I have to start by saying this wasn't a very expensive ring. It was a lab-grown diamond. So those are like considerably less money than like naturally made diamonds. Okay. So it wasn't like he had like hit his ceiling of what it was a relatively non-expensive ring.
Okay.
And so I was like, and I thought that he would be like, okay, I'll do that for you. You know what I mean? And instead I was like, well, he didn't offer. And I was like, well, we could like, and it turned out that the quote we got was like $500. And I was like, well, we could split it. And he was like, okay.
What?
Yes. And I told my mom what had happened. And my mom was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, I cannot tell Allison's father or sister because they will lose it. So she didn't tell the rest of my family that this had happened because she was like, knew that it was like a really bad sign of something. But I was just like, well, I'm asking for more, so it makes sense that I would split the cost. And then he took it back.
Yeah, every protocol is that you should Venmo him for $250.
Well, I was so worried that when I was in New York, he was going to take the elliptical because we hadn't finished the payments on it and it was under his name. But he left the elliptical here, so I guess that's like, I don't know. That's how I've justified it in my head. But the fact, like, looking back that, like, he made me pay for part of my own engagement ring was, like, not a great sign.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
When my dad and my sister found out about it after he'd already left me, they were, like, furious. They, like, lost their minds.
Because that's really weird. And also, like, it's not a huge amount of money for someone like him if he's already paying into the, you know, if he's already bought the ring. But also, like, it's just confusing. And also, like, protocol wise, you are really supposed to keep the ring.
Well, I think it depends. I think it depends who leaves, right? So if someone had bought me a really expensive engagement ring and then I left them, I would absolutely leave them the ring.
Right.
Or if it's like a family heirloom. But in this case, it was all done not so nice. But it's fine. I've moved on. I'm in love with someone who is so wonderful and kind to me. But it is just like, it's just funny. It's like for months I was like enraged when I would talk about that. And it would like, I would be the middle of the day and then I would remember that he made me pay for part of it and then took it back. But now I just think it's funny. Melissa just chatted, I'm ready to fight.
Venmo him. Venmo him. Venmo him.
I mean, also just like how easily he got away with this. Like, I never confronted him. I never called to yell at him. No one in my family called to yell at him. Like, he hasn't, you know, like he got away pretty easy.
God, that is nuts.
Yeah, pretty wild. Anyway, we have got a great episode for you guys today, although that probably will be the biggest tea of the episode.
That was a reveal. Wow. We're joined by Kevin O'Connor, who's the host of This Old House on PBS, and he's going to talk to us about the future of building, climate change, the history of homes, all this stuff about home buying, which is kind of fun. It's a total coincidence that I closed on a house this week and that he is our guest. So that is dope as hell.
A coincidence or kismet.
Kismet.
And later, we're going to be talking all about compatibility. What does and doesn't make you compatible with other people?
Also kismet, I guess, for the beginning. I guess the compatibility of being with someone who makes me pay for my own engagement ring is probably low.
But I have to say, like, it was the pandemic. I wasn't really getting any time to, like, talk to people one-on-one to, like, have any feedback that was weird. Like,
right.
you know, I was in like this vacuum where I was like, everything's fine.
Don't apologize. Don't make whatever.
Because also, like, it is this weird thing of like, why should he be the one that has to pay for this thing? You know? Anyway,
I guess.
life's wild. It comes at you fast.